Hi, Wolf. Well, according to the Nevada Democratic Party, as of 9 o'clock this morning, already 26,000 people had taken advantage of early caucusing here in Nevada. This is the first time people are able to early caucus. And what's notable about that 26,000 number, Wolf, is that it represents already about 30% of the total Democratic caucus turnout in Nevada in 2016. So it could be a sign of big turnout to come. Party officials say they're happy to see the enthusiasm, people standing in long lines to vote. And so they're saying that turnout could set a record. But of course, all eyes are going to be on Nevada because this is also a caucus system, just like in Iowa. And the party officials here are working hard to make sure they don't have a disaster like they had in Iowa. For one thing they're doing is they're scrapping the app that was used in Iowa. They are going to use a combination of high-tech and low-tech methods. One is a caucus calculator that will be on an iPad. That's to help do the math, to tabulate who meets the thresholds and to calculate the results. But there will also be paper backups. So they're described as a math sheet that they'll be writing the results on and a math poster to provide transparency to the folks in the caucus site. Another thing that party officials said that they're stressing is training. They say they've been working around the clock to make sure volunteers and caucus site leaders are trained. There will be guides at these sites to help with any issues with technology. And one thing that's really interesting here is that there was a webinar training that one of our producers sat in on today, and they're saying this caucus calculator, they only were able to use screenshots of it. They weren't able to use the actual calculator to test the actual tool, they're calling it. They were instead able to look at pictures of what it's supposed to look like on caucus day. So that's one issue that could leave some volunteers nervous. But the bottom line here is they're working hard to try to avoid what we saw in Iowa a couple weeks ago.
Let's hope they succeed in avoiding the disaster.
That everything will be worked out and that the caucuses next week will run smoothly. We're a week out. Early voting starts today. Organizers have had a significant amount of time to get ready for the caucuses. How far along in the training are you? Are other volunteers? Are you as confident?
I'm not quite as confident, but they've been working very hard. And I am personally really encouraging early voting, because early voting will minimize many of the risks that we'll be talking about. It is accurate that we're not using an app per se, but we are using an untested software tool in the caucus room. And I do worry that the caucus process will be confusing and flawed.
When you say untested, and I apologize if it sounds like I'm cutting you off because we've got a delay, but when you say untested, how's the training going on this new process?
We have had a lot of training on the broad process. We have never seen or handled this tool.
Oh, wow.
They keep telling us as early as last night that we'll show it to you when it is ready.
Oh my God.
So it's not ready a week out.
That's what the trainers have said as recently as yesterday.
How will people in the caucus room, in person, right? Viability is 15%, whatever that number is. How will I know how many votes any candidate has in early votes toward viability?
We're counting on this untested tool that we haven't been trained on.
Oh my God. And
if it doesn't work, when I asked in the training, they said, quote, call us.
Call us.
So I'm going to call us. And while my 100 people are milling around and talking, I, as the caucus chair, have to figure out either on the phone or on this tool all these numbers. That's why I strongly encourage early voting, because at least it's on a piece of paper, and they've done ranked choice voting in a few states. The software exists, the processes exist.